Okay, so to just expand your skill set a little bit, if you haven't used the live paint bucket tool before, I want to show you times when it makes sense to. We are used to choosing a shape that already exists and make that into, bring back our star here. And of course, like filling that in, doing what we need to, changing its color, etc. Like we know how to do that. That's not a big surprise. And at this point, there's no point to use a live paint bucket tool because it's a solitary item. But when there are overlaps, that could be a drawing, like I just did a really quick squiggle. As long as there are shapes separated by line, you know, a lot of times if we were doing something with the stars, let's say like this grouping, I could take the shape builder tool and come in here and individually select sections, right? And actually the shape builder tool is right above the live paint bucket tool if you can't find it. And then, you know, you can see where the overlaps are happening. This is kind of how the live paint bucket thinks. It's thinking in chunky shapes. So yes, I could shape it out with this tool and then get separate shapes, but that takes a little bit of time. And in this particular case, the live paint bucket tool will work faster. So you need to select it, whatever it is, the grouping of things, or in this case, one big line thing. Choose the shape build, not the wrong one, shape builder tool, and then go down to choose the live paint bucket tool. The shortcut's K. And then immediately what pops up that doesn't happen with the other ones is that this gives you a little preview of color. So if you click to the left arrow or to the right arrow, depending on, it's basically clicking through your color choices that are in your, right up here. It's clicking through these. So if you have a color palette set up, this is ideal because then you can just quickly select what color you want. And then it's going to ask you to say this one again. It basically takes away the properties of the line. You know, so basically if you want that line back, you'd want to make a copy of it before you do this process, and you would just essentially layer it right on top. But for now, I'm not worried about it. And again, go back to that tool, and I'm going to click to a different color this time. And so you can see that you basically can do what the paint bucket tool does, the same that the shape builder tool does. They are adjacent to each other, but they don't do the exact same thing. So just another, you know, I'm going to go over here and I'll choose this one so you can see what it would do. Whoops, I was on a negative color. Okay, there we go. So this way, you know, like I really could do a system pretty quickly without having to set up groups and paths and all that stuff. And then just click, oops, white, there we go. You get the idea. So I think you'll find times where it's really appropriate to use it. Once you have something like this though, if you're like, okay, well now what if I just want that purple? Well, you can see if you pull it out of the section, all its properties of the coloring go away. However, if you expand, our friendly expand tool again, then they can become their own separate shapes. So expand is going to be your friend if you're wanting to actually choose those individual shapes. Same thing here, like I can't really separate them right now. But if I want to for any reason, then I can also change it. Now, without that, if I wanted to change a color here, and I used that tool for it, what if I want to just change this color manually? Can't really do it. It's not an actual shape that can be selected. It's just a color fill area. So again, if you want a specific shape, you're going to have to expand. Of course, you could just use the regular tool we just did, but if for some reason you want to isolate a shape or be like, ooh, that's a cool shape, let me use it for some other reason, then you would have to expand it to isolate it and then do what you want to do with it. Now, since I expanded it, I don't know if I've actually done this before. Let me see what happens if yeah, it's right back to being able to be clicked upon and filled in. So live paint bucket's a fun one to use at the appropriate stages when you have a lot of overlap to do.